Hello everybody and welcome. I am here because I wanted to update you guys on a readathon that's coming up next week. Yes. And it's one that I'm participating in and I think it is a wonderful readathon. The concept is fabulous and I know personally for me, much needed. So I am talking about the BorrowAThon and that is taking place from November 7th until the 14th. I will put all the links down below. There's a Twitter account, a blog post, and a YouTube page all about the BorrowAthon. And the whole point of this readathon is it is a way to encourage people to read borrowed books. These can be library books, they can be books that you've borrowed from friends, coworkers, your family, your mom, etc. And I know for me, this is wonderful because I have so many books that I have out from the library, and I have tons of books that friends have given me to borrow, and I just haven't gotten to them to give them back, and I feel so bad every time I pass on my bookshelves, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my friend gave that to me 2 months ago, and I haven't touched it, and I feel really guilty. So this readathon is great because it helps you whittle away the books that are already on your bookshelf that maybe someone else has lent you and to utilize your public library. I think on BookTube there's so much emphasis on hauls and accumulating books and buying books that I think that people who like to use libraries, like myself, my hauls every month are pretty minimal, and when I do buy them they're only a couple dollars a piece. I use my library all the time and I love my library system, so this is a great readathon for people who like to utilize books that are borrowed. So as far as my TBR goes, my TBR is kind of fluid. The good thing about this readathon is that there's no challenges, it's just to read borrowed books for the whole week. I've got a couple books here. I don't know which of these I'm actually going to read. I usually read 3 books in readathons. I've got 4 here that I'm going to choose from, and let me just tell you a little bit about each of them. So the first book is We Are Pirates by Daniel Handler. And this is such a weird book, but he's a really weird author anyway. Like, this book has like a half of a sleeve. See that? So I'm going to take off this half sleeve and look at that. That I think is much better. It's a hardcover that I love whenever hardcovers have the title and the author and like you know, an image printed on the actual book itself, because I don't really like sleeves. So this book my best friend lent me like 2 months ago to read because she knows that I love Daniel Handler and she works at a bookstore and she grabbed it for pretty cheap. So I really like Daniel Handler. His work for me is kind of hit or miss, but I'm excited to try to read it. I really don't know much about it. I think it's about pirates. I don't really know. So this I have to read because I have to give back to my friend. So the next book that I have to choose from is The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Ahdieh, and this is a library book. It is the sequel to The Wrath and the Dawn, which I did read a couple months ago, and I liked it enough to pick up the sequel, which for me is a big deal because I never read series. I don't like series at all, but that book was intriguing enough to get me to pick up the second one. So this is pretty sizable. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this thing read in the week. But who knows? It could be super compelling and I could skim through it in 2 sittings. So that is another book to choose from. The third book is God is Dead by Ron Curry, and this is a book that was lent to me by a coworker probably 2 months ago. And the concept behind this book is it's kind of strange. It is, have you ever seen Dogma, like back in the 90s, right? It reminds me of Dogma. It's similar in some ways. So the story is God comes to Earth and inhabits someone's body and just lives in their body and ends up dying. And so God's soul dies. I guess God doesn't go back to heaven. I don't really know. I haven't read it. But God dies, and it's what happens to the world in the aftermath of God's death. And I think the way this is formatted is it's sort of told through short stories from different people's perspectives across the world, all about this event. So it's not necessarily like they're all related like to the main theme. So, but I don't really know the details. I can't really give a review, obviously. I haven't read it yet, but it's very short, so this is probably a contender for sure for the week. So, and I need to get this back to my friend because I just feel bad for hoarding these books. And the last book that I have to choose from is, you can't tell because they don't have it's The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. Can you see it? Can you see it? I don't really know. Now, this is a brand new book. The library just called me and said, hey, this just came in, so I ran and got it yesterday. It's only a 7-day loan, so I only have until the 9th to read it. So if I can't get it, like if I start to read it for the readathon, it has to be the first thing I read so I can have it done and return to the library and not have any fines. So everyone knows what The Woman in Cabin 10's about. It's a woman in Cabin 10. I guess she's on a, I don't even know. I don't know what this book's about. It's just one of those books that everyone reads because it's such a big deal and it's so popular and whatever. So I finally got my hands on it. So this is a library book and I've got to get it back because I don't want to pay money for it. Now I do have other books from the library that I am currently reading, and I have other books from friends and family that I have to get through, but I figured I'm not gonna overwhelm myself and pull out 12 books to read. I have a little 4-book selection. I'm not going to say TBR because I'm probably not going to get all 4 of these read, but depending on my mood, I'm hopefully going to get through at least 2 of them, hopefully 3 of them. So yeah. If any of you are interested in participating in the BorrowAThon, I have provided all the links down below. Once again, I think this is a really great idea, and it's like such a brilliant idea for a readathon, but it's just so simple. It's just borrow books. So please utilize your friends' recommendations, your family, your mom, and use your public library. They are a greater resource than I think we really give credit to them for on BookTube. All right, I will see you guys in a couple days, hopefully with some updates on this readathon. See you.